Hello students, in last class I was discussed about measurements and physical units, and I have told you what is a physical unit. So physical unit is nothing but the standard amount of a physical quantity be chosen to measure the physical quantity of the same kind. So ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿನ ನಾವು ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ಏನು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವೋ, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಯೂನಿಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಟುಡೇ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಯು what are the types of physical units we have. Basically we are having two types of physical units. Okay, there are two types of physical unit. There are two types of physical unit. One is fundamental physical unit. Fundamental physical unit. Fundamental physical unit. And second type of physical unit we have is derived physical unit. Derived physical unit. So what is fundamental physical unit? So fundamental physical quantities in ಬಗ್ಗೆ already ನಾವು study ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So you know what is a fundamental physical quantity. So fundamental physical quantities, they are basically independent physical quantities and they are not depend upon one another. Right? Such quantities are said to be fundamental physical quantities. But here I am going to explain you about fundamental physical unit. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ which cannot be derived from other physical unit. ಸೊ ಈ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ರಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಮೋರ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸಚ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. Okay, so let me write the definition here so that you can able to understand in a clear way. Okay, so fundamental physical unit, it is defined as, or it is the independent physical unit. So for physical unit I am writing PU, hope you can understand. It is the independent physical unit which cannot be derived from other physical unit, and it cannot be resolved into more it cannot be resolved into more simpler units. Okay, so fundamental physical units are independent unit. They are completely independent of one another. They are not derived from other units, and idana resolve kuda madlikkagalla into more simpler units. So such physical units are said to be fundamental physical units. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, we know we are having 7 fundamental physical quantities. ಆ 7 fundamental ಏನು physical quantities ಇದೆಯೋ, ಆ 7 fundamental physical quantitiesನ ಏನು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಸೊ ಆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸೇ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಬರಿಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ fundamental physical quantities. Units of fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities in ಏನು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದೇ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೇಟರ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, now I am going to tell you the other type of physical unit we have, that is derived physical unit. Derived physical unit. So what is a derived physical unit? So derived physical unit is nothing but it is the unit which is derived from fundamental unit. So fundamental units ಇಂದ ಯಾವ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅಂಥ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್. In the same way, derived physical unit is nothing but it is a unit which is deriving from fundamental physical unit. Okay, unit or units which are derived from fundamental physical units. Clear? ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸಿಂದ ಯಾವ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅಂಥ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ the definition of speed in terms of ratio. So here distance divided by time taken will give you speed. Distance is nothing but length, and unit of length is meter, and unit of time is second. So final unit of speed is meter per second. See, meter which comes under length. Length is a fundamental physical quantity and the physical unit of length is meter. So meter is a fundamental unit. Second is a unit of time. Time is a fundamental physical quantity. So unit of time is second. Second is a fundamental unit and meter is also a fundamental unit. So we are deriving from fundamental units. We are deriving the unit of speed from fundamental units we have. Clear? So meter per second is the unit of speed, where meter and second is deriving from fundamental units. Similarly, if I want to find the unit of velocity, so velocity again it is defined as displacement divided by time taken. Displacement divided by time. Again, displacement is nothing but length. I have already told you about the displacement for you. So unit of length is meter and unit of time is second. So therefore meter per second is the unit of velocity, which is a derived physical quantity, and we are deriving units of velocity from fundamental units, meter per second. Clear? Let me consider another example, acceleration. acceleration. So for acceleration, we will define acceleration as velocity divided by time taken. So what is velocity? Just now we have found the unit of velocity. We will write meter per second divided by time. Unit of time is second. If you take this second to the numerator, it becomes meter per second per second. So final unit of acceleration is meter per second square. See, meter is a fundamental unit, second is also a fundamental unit, and we are deriving the unit of acceleration from fundamental unit, that is meter per second square. Similarly, if I want to find the unit of force, again I have to write the formula of force here, that is mass into acceleration will give you force. Mass, unit of mass is kg. Mass is a fundamental physical quantity, right? And here acceleration is meter per second square. Kg, meter per second square is the unit of force. Or else we have a standard unit for force, that is Newton. Okay, kg, meter per second square. Kg is a fundamental unit, meter is a fundamental unit, second is a fundamental unit. Kg, meter per second. These three are fundamental units, and we are deriving the unit of force from fundamental units. So we have a name, derived physical unit, which is deriving from fundamental units. Clear? Okay, so these two types of physical units we have. One is fundamental physical unit and another one is derived physical unit. Now let me tell you about the fundamental physical quantities we have, their units and their symbols. Okay, so let me write the 7 fundamental physical quantities. Okay, we'll write F for fundamental here, fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities, their units I have to write here, and here I am going to write the symbol in this column. Okay, so the first fundamental physical quantity we have is mass. Mass, a unit of mass is, okay, we will draw the tabular column here so that it would be easy for you to understand. Okay, the first fundamental physical quantity is mass. So the unit of physical quantity is kilogram. Kilogram. And the symbol of mass is kg. It can be represented with the symbol kg here. And the second fundamental physical quantity we have is length. Length. Therefore, the unit of length is meter. We have to represent length with the help of meter, and the symbol we are going to use is m. And the third fundamental physical quantity we have is time. Therefore, for time we are going to use a unit called second, which is represented by a symbol s. And the fourth fundamental physical quantity we have temperature. Temperature, which is represented with the unit called Kelvin, and it is represented with the symbol capital K. Okay. And the fifth fundamental physical quantity we have is electric current. Electric current, which is having the unit called ampere. Okay, current in now ampere in the measure martivi. It is having a symbol called capital A, and it is represented with the help of a symbol capital A in the represent martira. And the sixth fundamental physical quantity we have is amount of substance. Amount of substance. Amount of substance, which is having a unit called mole. Mole. And this will represented with mole itself. Here you will write MOLE for mole and MOL in the represent martira. But we will read this as mole itself. And seventh fundamental physical quantity we have is luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. So unit of luminous intensity is candela. Candela. Okay, which is represented with a symbol called CD. Okay, so these are the fundamental physical quantities we have, and this column represents the units of fundamental physical quantity, and third column represents the symbol of their units. Okay, mass in ನಾವು kilogram ಅಥವಾ kg ಅಲ್ಲಿ represent ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Length can be measured in terms of meter, time can be measured in terms of second, temperature in terms of Kelvin, electric current in terms of ampere, amount of substance in terms of mole, and luminous intensity is candela. So maybe you have a question in your mind that for luminous intensity, why the unit is candela? See, intensity or luminous intensity is nothing but the strength which is coming from light, brightness or strength of the light, intensity of the light. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು luminous intensity ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆ luminous intensity or intensity of the light ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ will make use of a candle here. So ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, what is the strength of light which is coming from the candle? Okay, so we are using a term candela here for luminous intensity, which is represented by a symbol CD. Clear? Okay, these are 7 fundamental physical quantities we have. Okay, other than these 7 fundamental physical quantities, 2 more supplementary physical quantities we have. So our supplementary physical quantities ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ plane angle and solid angle. Let me write supplementary physical quantities and their units their units. Okay, so we are having 2 supplementary physical quantities here. One is plane angle, and the second one is solid angle. Okay, so for plane angle we have a unit called radian, which is having a symbol RAD, and for solid angle we use a unit called steradian, and it is represented by a symbol SR. See, they are supplementary physical quantities. This column represents the units, whereas this represents its symbol. supplementary physical quantities. Okay, so basically 9 physical quantities we have. In that 7 are fundamental physical quantities and 2 of them are supplementary physical quantities. Supplementary physical quantities. Okay, so this is about physical unit. So physical unit is nothing but the standard amount of a physical quantity be chosen to measure the physical quantity of the same kind. So ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿನ ನೀವು ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟನ್ನು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ, ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀರಾ. ಇವಾಗ ಮಾಸನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕೆ ಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಲೆಂತನ್ನು ಮೀಟರಿಂದ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಟೈಮನ್ನು ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ measure, whereas electric current can be measured in terms of ampere. Intensity can be measured in terms of candela. Okay, and amount of substance can be measured in terms of mole, right? Temperature can be measured in terms of Kelvin. In the same way, plane angle is measured in terms of radian. Solid angle, which can be measured in terms of steradian. Okay, so this is about physical unit. And don't forget, we are having 2 types of physical units here. One is fundamental physical unit and second one is derived physical units. Basically, fundamental physical units are independent units and they are not derived from other units and it cannot be resolved into more simpler units. Such physical units are said to be fundamental physical units. And the second type of physical unit we have is derived physical unit. So derived physical unit is nothing but we are deriving physical units from fundamental physical units. So such physical units are said to be derived physical units. Okay, all the units of fundamental physical quantities are considered as fundamental physical units. Okay, and all units of derived physical quantities are considered as derived physical units. Okay, and I have shown you the units and symbols of fundamental physical quantities and the supplementary physical quantities we have. Hope you understood this concept. Okay, so in next session I am going to come with some new topics for you. Till then, thank you.